All right, welcome back to Stock Tricks with Nick for this week's Breakout Watchlist from March 1st to March 5th. All the stocks that we're covering today, we got 14 of them for you. All have breakout potential in this upcoming week. They're all above their 200-day simple moving average, which itself is in an uptrend. They're 152% above their 52-week low. And most importantly, with the market pulling back the last 2 weeks, all of these stocks have showed high relative strength. So they're holding up really well, or they're already at all-time highs. Last week winners, we had ORGO at 14.3%, PLL 13%, and KLR at around 11%. After you guys watch the video, go to my Twitter and vote on your favorite setup. So if this is your first video with Stock Tricks with Nick, I do these breakout watch lists on Sunday mornings. I do a live stream on Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday night called the Midweek Movers, where we update this watch list and go over any stocks that you guys want to cover. And then on Friday, I do a trading recap, going through all the trades that I personally took, showing what were the winning setups, but also, and probably most important, I show my losing trades. Transparency is very important for my channel. Trading is not as easy as everyone says it is. And even as we're going through this list today, I'll be pointing out things that I don't love about each chart. Some with the market being this weak going into the upcoming week, I only have one position on, and it's only 2% of my portfolio. So I'm trading very defensively right now. I don't think this week is the one to swing for the fences by any means. We're just trying to find a couple setups that work out, that hold up, and then if the market really bounces back, we can play on to our profits. So if you enjoy the video, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on StockTwits, Twitter, and TikTok. This is an example of the voting. After you guys watch the video, vote on your favorite of these 4 setups on my Twitter account. That's Stock Trick Nick. And how you guys vote is how I'll be allocating the Tik Tok Trading Fund. And if that account beats my own personal account on a weekly compounding basis, I'm going to be giving away the entire fund. So go ahead and leave your TikTok or Twitter handle in the comments of the video that's just dropping right now. Quick disclaimer, anything that I talk about is not financial or stock advice, trading advice. Trading comes with financial risk. Please do your own due diligence before trading. All right, here's our watch list for the week. The stars just represent the stocks that you guys can vote on. They're not particularly the best setups, but ones that I wanted to put on the poll. And outside of these 14, I put a what else. Please help me out. Here are 14 stocks that I'm watching, but if you find any setups that are quality and that aren't on this list, please drop them in the comments so I can be prepared going into next week as well. All right, let's go to the charts. First, we have ALDX. So this one, we had a jump 126% up here, high volume on the way out. We pulled back to the 20-day moving average, had a minor jump before selling off with slightly less volume than on the way up. Got out again with high volume, and that's when the market started to pull back. So from this peak, we did have a 27% pullback with this long lower wick on Tuesday's candle, but now we're only 16% away from the highs there. Another thing that I wanted to point out is the volume. While this has been pulling back, has been extremely light compared to the volume on the way out. That's a good sign. Not many people are trying to get out of this stock. We're above the 50-day moving average, and with Friday's close, we're actually above the 20 and the 8-day exponential as well. So holding up pretty well. You can see relative strength compared to QQQ last week, doing well. What I'll be looking for is just a break over Wednesday's high here, 1258 as a possible buy point. Ideally, we get some sideways action to start the week, and then we take this high out with a higher volume. It's ALDX. Next, we have APPS, and this is the one stock that I currently have a position in, only 2% of my overall portfolio. So again, I'm trading very defensively right now. I don't think it's time to press the envelope as a breakout trader, so we're just trying to find some quality setups. But this is one that broke over. We had 1, 2, 3 daily highs right around the same price. So when we broke over that, that's when I bought the stock. I have half my stop at even now and half at a 5% loss. But APPS holding great relative strength. Tons of volume on Friday as we moved 14% higher above some previous highs here. We are only, let's see, 15% off the highs after this nice flush on Tuesday. Looks like it was going to turn over on Thursday, and then we turned it around, closed nice on Friday. Zooming out so you get the whole picture, you got the 200-day, the 50-day, the 20-day, 8-day, all in the right order. So this has been in a strong uptrend, and that's what we always look for. So APPS, if it depends on how the market opens on Monday. If we open lower, then you can buy taking out the high on Friday, which would be 85.76. Otherwise, if we stay elevated, I'd be looking at the high of February 19th, which is 88.19 as a possible buy point. So right through there. That's APPS and one that you guys can vote on. Next, we have BW. Let's zoom out here. You got the 250.28 all in the right order. This does, so I'm always going to call out the chart. This does look like it could be a head and shoulders pattern if this starts to sell off here, but that's why we don't just buy randomly into the dips. I always buy as the stock's breaking out into new highs. So momentum's already behind my money once I start taking that risk. Because if the stock's starting to pull back, I have no idea how long it's going to pull back for. And if you're adding money during a pullback as a breakout trader or a swing trader, the momentum's going against you as you're adding more money. So that's a good way to put size on a stock that's already proving to be a losing trade versus adding more size to a winner. Anyway, so nice flush on Friday, but rally back up, closed over the 8-day exponential moving average. Good volume on the up days, very light volume on the down days. The last rally here was about 140%, had pull back to the 8-day continuation, and I mean, holding up really well. Here's relative strength compared to QQQs. Continues that uptrend even while the market's been selling off. This has been holding pretty steady. That's why that uptrend is continuing. So what I'll be looking for is a break over Thursday's high, 738 as a possible buy point. 736 is Wednesday's high, and 738 is also the high from the 17th. So we got a couple daily highs. So if we can break that, that would be my possible buy point. BW. Next we have CELH. Nice downward to the right drift. Good shakeout on Tuesday and Wednesday, both puncturing the 50-day moving average here. Lower volume the last half of the week. What I don't like is Monday's candle. I did trade this on Monday as it was breaking out. I got stopped for even after taking a little bit of profit. But this shows me there are some sellers lurking at this higher price. So with my buy point, I'd be buying with the break over Friday's high if we open lower and then take that out. But you might only get 10 or so percent before we hit those same sellers coming through here. So a little bit of caution with that. Really, once you get up to like 67 area, you might hit some sellers, especially as everything sold off the last couple of weeks. People are going to want to take profits a little bit quicker. So just have that in your trading plan. If this does get out, make sure you're quick to move your stops to your entry. Take out that initial capital risk. That's always my game plan in a choppy market. Quick to move those entries. But that's CELH, CELH. Next, we have another one you can vote on, DraftKings, DKNG. Awesome flush on Tuesday. Along most of the stocks had that flush on Tuesday, punctured the 50-day, closed right at the high of the day, back above the 8-day, which was really impressive. Low volume Wednesday, we traded sideways. Looks like things were going to turn over on Thursday, but Friday, higher highs, higher lows, closed above the 8-day, closed above the 20-day, and now we have that right order of the 250.28. Zooming out, this could also be kind of a cup and handle being put in to a larger move up top. So depending on where we open on Monday, if we open lower, you could just buy with the break of Friday's high. That would be 62.67. I'm going to be playing this a little bit more cautious and use the high from the 22nd, which is 63.25 as my possible buy point. Great relative strength. Let's zoom out. Great relative strength the past couple weeks. DKNG DraftKings. Next, we got DQ. Lots of volume coming in on Friday. Not exactly sure what caused that. But zooming out, we got the 250 and the 8's actually under the 20, so one strike against the chart there. We did have a pullback, let's see, 37% from the highs. So typically once you pull back over 25%, you'll need at least 6 to 8 weeks to base out before the true breakout happens. This is one strike against the chart and probably not one that I'm going to be trading, but one that I'm going to be watching. So I set alerts on all of these stocks, but I don't plan on trading all of them. Some that I'll just use to see, okay, how is the market acting? This was a quality buy point. Are we actually extending? Are we holding that breakout? Or is that getting sold off? That all goes into my confidence in the market and how much I'm willing to be invested at the time. So this is going to serve as one of those kind of tests for me because it pulled back too much to typically just break right back out to the highs. Usually it has to move higher and then wiggle around, kind of flag out here. But with how violent the pullback was the last couple weeks and how this bounced right at the 50-day and got good volume, one to at least put on a watch list. So I would be looking at a buy point over the high from the 19th, which is 112.22, which seems a little bit high here. Probably need the first half of the week to get there. But once we actually move to that price, we'd be over the 20-day moving average. We'd be over this kind of 3-day pivot point, and we'd be over the volume shelf here. So less resistance if we can get above this line for a continued move higher. It's DQ. Next, we have EPIX. If you guys are enjoying the video, please leave a like and share with anyone that that is interested in trading stocks. All right, so EPIX, this was already in a very strong uptrend, 130% up through here. Got out on volume with their earnings. And since, let me do a little bit of measuring. Had a pullback of 28%. It's flagging out nicely here. Very little volume as it's trading sideways. Relative strength, because it's trading sideways and the market's been pulling back, is increasing. That's good to see. Friday closed at the high of the day after taking out the low of Thursday's low. And man, so in a perfect environment, this could have been buyable on Friday as we took out the low from Thursday and then rallied over the high from Thursday. That's a possible buy point. Since the market's been pretty weak, I did not take that trade. I'm just going to be looking for this break over this 2-day pivot point here, 2768, 2770. So high of 2770 as a possible buy point. Excuse me. EPIX. INMD is next. Great relative strength. This only has pulled back, let's see, 11% or so from the high. Compared to all the other growth stocks the last couple of weeks, that's incredible strength. Has bounced a couple times at that 20-day moving average. Has never closed under that, which is good to see. Lower volume last couple days as we pulled down. Another good thing to see. Lower volume during the pullbacks. What I'm going to be looking for is a break over the high from the 22nd, which is 72.40 as a possible buy point. That is pretty extended. So if we trade down to the right a little bit to start the week, then maybe we could use a previous day's high as an entry. But for right now, I'm going to be cautious with all my entries, really allow the stocks to form up before putting too much exposure on the market. It's INMD. Next, we have INSP. Really nice flush on Tuesday, under the 50-day, under the 20, rally back up to the 20. Had continuation, higher highs, higher lows on Wednesday. Pulled back, bounced at the 20-day. Thursday, same story on Friday, except having higher highs, higher lows, closed near the high of the day. And this is showing great relative strength. Kind of getting wedged up here. This flush was nice to see. That helps out a lot, but outside of that, not much of a reason to get out of the name. Yeah, just this is showing up great, but a lower volume stock that you have to be pretty careful with. The buy point that I'm looking at is 237.61. It's the high from Wednesday, right through here. If you want to be careful, you could just buy at all-time highs 29.40 or 239.40. That would be fair as well. Next we have LE, and this is the third one that you guys can vote on. We got the 200-day, 50, 28 on the right order. Quick flush on Tuesday and Wednesday. Actually, Wednesdays undercut Thursdays or undercut Tuesdays, then rally to take out the high. So that would have been a possible buy point with my strategy. Had a fake breakout that got sold off on Thursday. That's a little concerning, but stayed above the 20-day moving average. And then Friday bounced right at the 20, closed right near the high. So with this one, just a break into all-time highs, 33.49 is the possible buy point. Great relative strength last week, LE. Next, we have PENN National Gaming. This is the last one that you guys can vote on. So make sure you go to Stock Trick Nick on Twitter and place your votes after this. Obviously, PENN has been in a monster uptrend. You got the 250.28 on the right order. We had a nice flush on Tuesday and Thursday. Thursday looked like things were going to get ready to really turn around and test the 50-day. But Friday, we had an inside candle on heavier volume, which is weird to see, definitely weird to see. But this is holding up well enough to where if the market bounces back, this is a name that I'm definitely going to be interested in. Two possible buy points would be a high from February 24th, 121.02, or a high from February 22nd, which is 124.07. So you got there or there. That wasn't drawn perfectly, but you get the point. PENN National Gaming. Next, we have RFP. This is one that I traded earlier last year, but has been in a really nice uptrend. Had this flush, let's see, pulled back 18% or so in 2 days from the high. And then we actually undercut that on Friday. We undercut all the lows in the pullback on Friday, which that clears the deck. Everyone who got in on this pullback had their stops at the low and would have gotten stopped out on Friday with the action. So that clears the deck. We rally back up, close between the 20-day moving average and the 8-day exponential. So I would just be looking at a break through this lower pivot, 987 as a possible buy point there. RFP. Got three more for you. VCEL. This one could definitely use a little bit of work. We had that nice flush on Tuesday that got rallied back up. But something about this, the higher selling volume on a couple of the days before the market pulled back is concerning. I feel like this one could use maybe even another week where this trades sideways down and then sets up another pivot point. But wanted to cover it because the pullback Friday did undercut the 2 days lows after Tuesday, closed between the 8-day and the 20-day moving average, and has been holding up relatively well. So in a market that's been pulling back, once you always look for the stocks that have pulled back the least, because once the market bounces, those typically bounce the highest and move the highest up. So I'll be looking for break over Wednesday's high of 50.74 as a possible buy point. VCEL. VRNT is next. We had this nice gap here on heavy volume, very low volume drift to the right, and then we undercut the lows in the pullback, which you love to see when you're outside of the trade already. When you're in the trade, you don't want to see any pullbacks, obviously, but this clears the deck, pulled back to the 20-day moving average, is closed above that every single day so far, and is between the 8-day and the 20-day right now. Very low volume in this this last couple trading days here. So This could be one that just turns around and moves lower to close the gap. There's a volume gap there, and test the 50-day moving average. That could happen. That's why we're only buying. I'm only buying as the stock's breaking out into new highs. So with this one, I would like to see more sideways to the down drift. If I'm going to take the buy at Thursday's high, 50.02. If we just open on Monday and we're already right there, I'm not going to trade this one. I would be looking for a break over February 22nd's high of 50.57, or maybe even just a break of all-time highs, 52.70. But if Monday, Tuesday are ugly in the market, we take out some of these lows and then set up a buy point at 50.02, VRNT. And last but not least is WSM. Got 250 and 28. The 8 just got back over the 20-day. We recently had a 53% move up, followed by a pullback, first of 20%, and then zooming in, you could see the low in the pullback got undercut by Tuesday's flush, and then it's traded sideways really, really well. Inside day on Friday after a false breakout on Thursday. So now I'm just using Thursday's high at 133.52 as a possible buy point there. So right through there. This is one of the few names that I could find that actually had kind of a mini base forming up with a nice flush and a clean buy point. So definitely one to watch. Price relativity is coming up. ATR, average true range, had been decreasing. Now it's kind of plateaued flat. But 133.52 is a possible buy point. All right, so that's going to be the breakout watch list for next week. If you're like me, you're going to be trading very cautiously, letting a few test positions run or test stocks run, break out, and hold before you're putting too much exposure into the market. Please let me know what stocks that I missed on this list. Subscribe to the channel, Stock Tricks with Nick, and vote on your favorite setup. All right, I will see you Wednesday for the Midweek Movers live stream, 7 p.m. Central. Take care.